Capricorn, this week your love life is influenced by the Chariot card. So for some of you, there's a tie to a Cancer person. But otherwise, this is going to be a week where you're trying to find some balance, and perhaps you're in opposition to your partner. For some of you, you're really taking the initiative with something. You have a clear purpose in mind. You're very determined. So this could be a week where you're really trying to impose your will, your ideas, your ambitions and desires upon a circumstance or another person. And maybe you're fighting for a goal. So there's a strong sense of purpose this week where maybe you're trying to overcome some kind of challenge or an obstacle because perhaps there's a conflict of interest that you have with your partner. In fact, this is going to be a week where you're going to be triggered. Somebody's going to push some buttons, and it's going to be perhaps difficult for you to control your emotions, your anger, how you feel about a situation. And you're going to have to really fight to get control of your impulses, whatever those may be. The impulse to act in anger or say something or do something, push too hard. The impulse to be reckless or try to move something along too quickly. Because this is a week about having some mastery and understanding that there are some things that are beyond your control. This is a week where it may be important to be a leader, to take the initiative. So in some cases, you will be making decisions. It's your ambition that's driving a circumstance. But in other cases, you may need to realize that the other person's vantage point is just as important, and it may be important for them to make some decisions. So this is about working in tandem with others, about meeting your goals without overwhelming or overpowering the other person. And as a result of that, communication is going to be very key, and perhaps travel. So communication or travel may tie into something romantic, unusual, or something that brings out your desire for change or adventure. Now, for some of you, the situation has gotten out of control. You may feel overwhelmed, or there's an imbalance in your connection to another person. There's some unfairness. Maybe your plans fall through, or maybe you're just too narrowly focused on something. Now, your other card says keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectation. So you may be so focused on a particular type of partner or how your relationship should look, and that creates some struggle for you, some conflict. And as a result, either you or your partner may feel some kind of resentment, or there could be some insecurity in the relationship. Maybe somebody's smothering the other person, or there's some suspicion or anxiety. Or you're coping with some difficulties, again, related to travel or some delays or some miscommunication, or maybe something went wrong, maybe some, transportation issues or medical issues that you have to deal with. So this week could require your patience. And, you may be in this very aggressive, assertive, or domineering mode, or you may be meeting with other people like that. So this is getting in control of the shadow ego part of self. People that are unbalanced, or, again, not in control of their impulses. Now, this may have to do with a conflict over whether you're getting the appreciation you deserve, or a conflict over spending on luxury items, or perhaps a conflict about aesthetics, being appreciated merely for appearances. But it centers on gratification, either getting what you want as opposed to someone else, or whether you're enjoying life, there's a sense of contentment or abundance, and whether you are reckless or impulsive in those areas. In some cases, maybe you're holding on to something, and it's actually costing you, there's a high price that you're paying for holding on to that. Now, that could be an attitude, or perhaps how much you are emotionally vested in a circumstance or another person. If you're putting all of your eggs in one basket and you think this person or this relationship or this setup is the end all be all, the beginning, the end, the alpha, the omega, then you may be disappointed because there are issues with confidence or self-esteem where you're placing too much value on the external and that validation that's outside of yourself. So this could be a week where you make some kind of misjudgment about something. Something is out of your control. And because of that, something doesn't move as quickly or as smoothly as you want it to. Again, there's some kind of imbalance. Now, this may be because your relationship is changing in some way. You're going to take a second look at your relationship, and it's in the positive, it's going to open your eyes. You're going to gain some self-awareness. It's going to change your perception, your perspective, and you're going to grow as a result of that. Now, for some of you, there is a lack of faith in a situation, perhaps a lack of faith in an attraction. So again, somebody that you wouldn't necessarily be drawn to may approach you, and maybe you consider them to be out of your league in some way. Maybe their looks don't measure up, or they're not as smart as you think they should be, or not as successful. And in fact, it even makes you angry that they had the audacity to try to connect to you. It could be that there is a conflict surrounding the material, where there's an overemphasis on getting material gratification or physical gratification. So there's a lack of faith in an attraction. A couple of things have not worked out in this relationship if it has been ongoing, and you're having to keep an open mind because maybe you're feeling angry and frustrated, and how you're feeling is actually affecting your partner, and that partner is responding to you in like manner. For some of you, after you take this second look and you gain a new perspective, you're going to realize that you're not as bad off, or you're not as behind as perhaps you thought. So again, this could center around your attraction, having faith in it, or a lack of attraction, and having to keep an open mind about something and mastering your emotions in connection to relationships.